Hey everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about ingredients, but not just ingredients, but the ways in which ingredients are made, because this is really important to us at Miiko Skin Co. Learning about the processes that the ingredients went through before we source them, before we put them in products, before we sell them to you. So the example I have is sugar. White sugar versus raw cane sugar. So if you saw these things listed on the ingredients list, say bought a granola bar, it might not specify what type of sugar was used, but you can tell by looking at these two ingredients that they are completely different in the ways in which they're made. And this is really important because obviously one has a lot more quality and nutrient value than the other. So you definitely want that when you're buying products. But the other problem is that the processes that are used to make ingredients do not have to be listed on the ingredients list. And that is highly problematic the more processes that are used. So if you think about this, I'm sure bleach was used. I'm not sure what else, to break it down. But this is true in the skincare and cosmetic industry. For example, at the very beginning of this business, I was looking into grapefruit seed extract and as a preservative. But when I looked into the processes in which grapefruit seed extract was made, it was inconsistent in the types of chemicals that were used to extract that from the grapefruit seed. And because I couldn't be sure that it was totally safe, we decided not to use it. In the synthetics world, it's pretty bad. There's a lot of ingredients like dimethyl phthalate, hydrocarbons, like actual petroleum byproducts that are used and pumped into products in order to break them apart or to make them more malleable to stick together, especially if you're working with artificial fragrance. There's ways of manipulating those ingredients to make them stick together more. And it is problematic. So one reason why we should care is because quality. Obviously, you want to pay for the best bang for your buck. The second reason is because of those unknown extras. They could be causing irritation on your skin. They could be causing reactions between products. But also, in the place of manufacturing, that's a huge output of waste and pollution, and that could be making the local environment of the manufacturing place sick. That could making the people who work there sick, and it especially could be making the people who live in marginalized communities around it sick. So especially for indigenous groups who live around these types of areas and often live off the land, deal with the struggles of these pollutants. I would advise you to look up Sarnia Valley if you want to learn anything more about that. And then another reason is that the process itself could be making the product go rancid. So a good example of that is olive oil. If you buy a high quality olive oil, it's usually in glass and a dark glass. And that's because olive oil is a monounsaturated fatty acid, which means that although it is really, really good for you, rich in antioxidants, it's pretty vulnerable to going rancid if it's exposed to high temperatures. And that's really true as well for hemp oil and flax oil. So if these ingredients aren't made through cold processes, which would be like extra virgin, cold pressed, organic, then they might be going rancid in the process, and using them in products, whether they're edible or topical, isn't going to be having the same benefit that you want it to be having because the ingredients could be rancid. So that is why that is important. I'm not really sure the best way around it. All I can say is that the brands and companies who are using the higher quality form of the ingredient often list it because they're super proud. So when you are reading ingredients lists, looking for those words like raw, unrefined, extra virgin, cold pressed, and organic, can be super helpful. I hope this makes sense, and let me know if you have any questions.